And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Live Laugh Left podcast, and this is the Live Laugh Left Season 4 finale. Episode 38, I think. So we got to this year. Maybe 37, I can't remember. But back with Garry.
What?
And yes, we know that the 2025 NASCAR season is in the books. There's no race to talk about this week. Not really much news at all to talk about, except for one important piece of news. And that is why we're even here to begin with. NASCAR 25 is out on Steam. I have purchased it. I have played some of it. And now I'm going to give my thoughts on the game so far.
His thoughts are basically going to be if I should buy it or not.
Well, yeah, we're going to answer that question. I paid $63 for this motherfucker. I do plan on playing more of it. The game took 3 fucking hours to download, so I didn't have as much time to play as I thought I would, but here we are. I got a good gist of it. I tried out different modes. I tried out different tracks and different series. I did as much as I possibly could. I didn't try...
Did you try Michigan out?
I did try Michigan out. I tried short tracks. I tried super speedways. I tried road courses. I tried every kind of track I possibly could. I also went, and the only thing I didn't really do was career mode. I do want to do a career mode, but I haven't done one yet. That would have taken too long. I'll do that later, and we'll explain how I can fit that into this podcast soon. But anyway, that's going to be the gist of the podcast today, and then stay tuned for the end of the podcast. We got a special announcement about how things are going to look in 2026 and before and beyond. But before any of that, remember I do drink reviews on this podcast sometimes, and I did get a couple new pop flavors at the store the other day, so we're going to try one of them today. And it's the holiday season. And Coca-Cola always releases their new flavors along with the shitty AI ads, but we won't talk about that here. But yeah, we're gonna try their holiday flavor for this year as we get into the holiday season. And their flavor this year is Holiday Creamy Vanilla. Yeah. So, Holiday Creamy Vanilla Coke. I mean, they have Vanilla Coke. I love Vanilla Coke. I love Cherry Vanilla Coke the most. We'll see how this one maybe differs. Ooh, I can smell it right off the bat. That's pretty good. Smells like Vanilla Coke. Does it taste like Vanilla Coke? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yes, it does. Well, didn't need to try that on the podcast, but who the fuck cares, I guess. So, it's just Vanilla Coke. 8 out of 10. Great drink. But nothing new. So, whatever. Thank you, Jeffofthemellows, for making me buy this for no reason. But anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. Thanksgiving's coming up, so, good way to alliterate.
He also forgot to say Happy Halloween the last time we did a podcast.
I did. Happy Halloween from the, not last podcast episode, but 2 podcast episodes ago, so.
Just want to remind people that he doesn't care about people's Halloween.
Shut up, bitch. You want to get a strike?
No,
you want to get a strike in the season finale?
Sure. Yeah, we gotta use it. We gotta use it sometime.
Strike one, Garry. Strike one. All right. Anyway, now this game, now NASCAR 21 Ignition also had this as a selling point, but this game did too, about how it was going to look like realistic NASCAR. Well, we all know that NASCAR 21 Ignition did not look like that at all.
Nope.
But this game, NASCAR 25, I am pleased to say, looks pretty realistic. It looks pretty good. There's a lot of good details on the background landscapes of the tracks. The tracks themselves have some great detail to them. The cars look really good. Even the track surfaces look really good. Some really good small details here and there that really just refine it and make it perfect. Well, I wouldn't say perfect, but about as perfect as you could get. It does look, it finally does live up to the looks realistic hype. And I think that's something we should expect with it being backed by iRacing. iRacing always did look pretty realistic, and this is not any different. So I will say that they got that on point. And it also does help that they actually, which most NASCAR games don't get to say this, some do, but not, this one does, that they got the real sponsors. So everything looks how it would at the race because they got the real sponsors. I mean, you go to the Chicago street course and you see Coca-Cola signs and Arby signs and all that sort of stuff instead of knockoff brands or just NASCAR logos or a bunch of other random stuff. You go to Michigan and you see the Firekeepers logo instead of just a random thing, which I will say was funny. Because I played at Michigan in the Cup Series, and then I won the race, and even though there were Firekeepers logos all over the track, they still just called it the Michigan 400. Why? They did that for all the tracks. They didn't, for somehow they had the sponsors of the race, but couldn't call the race its actual name.
I feel like they're going to update it.
It was very weird. Michigan was not the only track to have that problem, and it was just, it's why would you go through the trouble of getting the sponsors that actually sponsored these races and then don't call them by their actual race names? I feel like in this modern day too, even if the name of the race changes, you can update the game. You can update it and change it in there. You can change how the track looks. It doesn't. I don't understand why they had to leave that part out. It was probably some bullshit in the writing agreement or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But it is refreshing to have real sponsors on the cars. Obviously, not all the sponsors are there. But every driver does have at least one sponsor in that they actually have in the races. And they're not last year's sponsors, they're this year's sponsors. Denny Hamlin has Progressive on the car. William Byron has the Flames that are this year. Alright, it's not fucking last year's stuff like most games do. No, they were working on this to the last second, putting in stuff in from this year, which I give them massive credit for. But the other thing is that, and then also you've got all 4 series here. And I say all 4 because the ARCA series is here too, which I think is cool. They did, and all the drivers are represented. There's great driver selection. There's pretty good track selection. The only track that stood out that was not in the game was Bowman Gray. It's maybe they didn't put the 2025 tracks on there. Well, Lime Rock Park's on there, and Lime Rock Park came after Bowman Gray. What? I don't know why Bowman Gray's not on there. Maybe it's just because they don't want to have quarter-mile tracks on there. Because,
like I said, they're probably going to update it. Right now, they're probably figuring it out right now.
Well, probably what is that I raced at North Wilkesboro, right? But it's not an all-star race format. Even though they call it the all-star race, it's just a regularly structured race where all the drivers race, right? So maybe that's what they didn't want, that chaos working its way in for Bowman Gray. I don't know. I don't know why Bowman Gray's not in the game. I could not tell you. I'm not a developer here. But all the other tracks that, they race at this year are there. I will say, and this is something that you always probably should add later on in this modern age. I mean, how dare we give a full package right through and through, and we can just charge another $500 later on. But anyway, throwback paint schemes and fantasy tracks. I would like to see that added to the game. There's none of that right now, at least in the base package of the game, which I paid for. You can pay for like a deluxe version, which I maybe does have some of that. It's like another $30. I paid $63 right off the bat for this. I don't want to pay any more fucking money. I would like to see some fantasy tracks though, especially because iRacing has done that in the past, and they've worked so closely with iRacing for this game. I think it's definitely something that they could pull off.
Like one of the fantasy tracks being Sonoma in the wintertime.
Well, there's that, but also past tracks that are no longer around. I'd like to see that. But yes, also different variations of tracks that already do exist. I would like to see that too. I think that would be cool. Right now, there's none of that. Maybe, like I said, maybe in the bonus package you get some of that. I don't think so, but maybe you do. I don't know. Somebody who's bought the gold package, let me know in the comments if that's what it's all about. But yeah, I mean, like even like the driver selections are good. The paint schemes, like I said, look good. And the tracks look amazing. And okay, let me tell you this as well. Some of these tracks are really fucking difficult to drive. Really fucking difficult. I mean, you go to well, for starters, the settings of the cars when you start to drive, they're very loose. So, which I think is fun. I think driving a loose car is more fun than driving a tight car. I'll say that much. So my first race was the Chicago Street Course, because Ann Pomeroy told me this morning. I was like, you just gotta tell me how Chicago Street Course is. And so it just came to my mind as the first track that I wanted to drive was a Chicago Street Course, and I was drifting through the turns. That's how loose I was. Oh my god, it's so funny. Like I pulled the what the fuck is it called? What's it called? I pulled a pit maneuver on Michael McDowell to take over 5th place.
Did you do a Cody Ware?
I did. Because eventually, get this, when you hit the wall enough, the car doesn't turn anymore. So I ended up, and here comes another really funny part about the game. There's a lot of funny moments in this game that I've already experienced, by the way, and I'll touch on the funniest one of them all in a minute. But this one was really funny too. I went straight into a corner, and I overestimated how much speed I needed to get into the corner, and I overshot it, and I hit the tire barrier, and I literally just bounced back off like a beach ball. It didn't.
It's basically like the NASCAR 15 when you're at like Dover or Bristol and you hit the wall at the exact point and then you just boing. Or like at Texas, if you go around that track and the right where the start finish line is and you just touch it just at the right moment.
Let's talking about physics, let me give a million credits to the developers for making it so when you hit a wall at an angle, like, okay, so here's the wall, right? And here's the car. You come in a corner and you hit it like this. Like pretty much every other NASCAR game before this, the car would do this and spin backwards, even though that's not how physics work. Well, you know what you do in this game? You do that. Revolutionary physics tale, people. When you hit something at an angle, it doesn't do the reverse angle. EA, take some notes. That was a very...
Nutanix, take some notes.
Very, very welcome sight. I love it. But anyways, these tracks are really hard to drive. Even Michigan, I was not going nearly as fast as they should at Michigan. because the turns were a lot tighter. I found that like the flatter tracks are the ones that are really hard to drive because the cars are drive so loose. So the tracks with higher banking, you can carry more speed and they're easier to drive as a result. Like Rockingham, really easy track to drive, really fun track to drive. Whereas like North Wilkesboro, Michigan, the street course, really the road courses are by far the worst. I raced Chicago Street Course and Lime Rock Park. I got three course cutting violations at Lime Rock Park and lost because of it. And I was pissed off because they were bullshit penalties. I got ran off the track and they called the course cutting penalty on me. Anyway, the road courses are really, really tough. And the higher bank track it is, the easier it is to drive. Now, there's a lot of ways, obviously, where you can toggle the settings. There's a lot of wiggle room when it comes to adjusting your car. So you can make it tighter. You can make it easier to drive on the flat tracks. You can do that, which is really nice. And that's what you do in iRacing as well. So I just didn't have time or really any care in the world to really toggle with that at this time. But, as I jump in, and I will do like a career mode. I didn't get to work with the career mode at all yet, but I will. And I will probably toggle around with that as it goes. But as it is right now, I didn't need to do any of that for just some quick race action. So, that was good. As I already said, though, this game is hilarious. And it's not intended to be, but it is hilarious. I already talked about the boing boing effects with the tire barriers at Chicago. And I already talked about the weird not being able to name the races what they're named after, even though you have the sponsors. But let me tell you by far the funniest thing about this game. The music. Oh yeah, this game has a soundtrack. It's a soundtrack. So I finished the race. I think it was North Wilkesboro or something. I don't remember. And when I get to the main menu to select my next race, there's music playing, and I shit you not, this is what it sounded like. Yeah, 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 yeah. What the fuck? I was crying, laughing. I could not believe what I was hearing. How did we go from the soundtrack of Gods that is NASCAR Thunder 2004 to this? Oh, so funny.
I'm upset that you just did that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in the game. It's in the game. What can I say? It's in the game.
That is an actual song.
Sports.
You do realize that, right?
Pull it up. What song is it? It's going to get us copyright struck. I don't give a fuck. I was dying laughing. It's so funny. Oh, God. And, like, it's not like these are bad. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty bad music choice, I have to say. But the other two things I thought made the game so much more fun to play. I tell you what, I have not had this much fun playing a NASCAR game in a long time. It was so much fun. Because you're driving the actual sponsors, you're driving the stuff, and, you're having fun doing it. Drivability-wise, I mean, at a base level, it's about the same. There's not a lot of other modes. Like I said, there's a career mode, there's a championship mode that you can do, and that's all fun and games, but some of the other great games of the past for NASCAR games have had a lot more to do. So it's not winning in any of those categories. I mean, it does have that multiplayer online function, which I think will be huge and separating it, especially with a PC release. You can play cross-platform now and everything like that. So I think that'll take some consideration into it as well. But I'm also hoping that there are updates. It's gonna be all behind DLC though, and I don't know how much I'm gonna be willing to pay for DLC for this game. I really don't know what I'm gonna be willing to do, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, yeah, Was that the one you were talking about?
Yep, that was it. What song is that? Send me the song. Oh, okay. Big Dogs. Let me add it to my playlist real quick. Oh my god.
Guys, let me be honest with you. Tyler is just a child.
You're one to talk.
I am.
Yes.
I literally did not laugh during that entire thing. I'm only laughing at you.
The lie.
That is not a lie.
The liar. Strike two. That's strike two, Gary. Can't lie. No lying. But anyway, that's really all I gotta say about the game. Like I said, I need to play it more, but the download time took forever, and here we are. So
maybe he'll do a live stream where he does career modes.
That is a possibility. Don't know if I'm gonna do that, but that is a possibility. But I definitely will be playing career mode. I definitely will dive a lot deeper into this game. I better. I paid $63 fucking for it. There's achievements I gotta grind for too. I got one achievement already, which is win a race, which only 34% of the player base has completed.
Yeah, because it just came out.
Now, this game, I will say, is coming out to very bad reviews, especially with the Steam release. A lot of people are not happy with this game. And I think it stems down to more of a technical reason. A lot of people who have bought this game have played iRacing in the past. So they have simulator setups to play that game. And when they try and switch it over to make it, their simulator setups work with NASCAR 25, it doesn't seem like it's working that well. It doesn't seem like Steam is being very compatible with it. I don't know how the console versions are working, but the Steam version doesn't seem to be working that great. I will say my controller worked great. I have a PS4 controller that I work with on Steam. It worked great. Plays great. Controls are very, what you'd expect. But I also have grown up playing NASCAR games on a controller. I have never used a wheel. So that's probably why I have such a more up there view on it than some people who have gotten used to playing with a wheel. I can see where the frustration is coming from, but I don't have those same concerns. So that's my thoughts. That, folks, is my thoughts on NASCAR 25. More so first impressions. I don't know if it's an official review. I'd say more of a review / first impressions type deal. But have a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun with the game so far. And so I think I will continue to have fun with it. As far as if I think Garry should purchase it, no, because he's broke and he needs to save his money. But also, if he wants to have a fun time playing, yes. I think he'll enjoy it. I mean, that's the game. You like NASCAR? You'll like this game. That's all I gotta say. I won't give it an official score because it's more of a first impressions type deal. I'll probably give it a final score once I've worked on career mode and stuff like that. So that's all I have to say. Nascar 25. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts, guys, in the comments down below and what you think of the game. I don't know if you've got anything else more to say on it, Garry.
Nope.
All right, then. It's going to do it, though, then, for this week's episode. Bit of a shorter one, but, again, all we had to talk about was the game and my drink. Oh, but we do have one more thing, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was getting to it. Let me do my thing.
Yeah,
anyway, so this is the end of season 4. 4 seasons worth of doing a NASCAR podcast. And while this started as a full intention of only ever talking about NASCAR related stuff on this podcast, I think me and Garry have both come to a consensus that it's difficult to continue this way. We felt a lot of, I don't know how Garry has felt this season, but I felt this season a lot of burnout regarding it. I love NASCAR. I still love talking about NASCAR. But there's definitely other things I also like talking about. And kind of having to bog it down to just NASCAR has definitely caused some burnout for me. At least this season. I think last season a little bit too, but I was like, let's just get over it. And then I didn't get over it. Now we're here. So me and Garry came to the decision, and we have begun working on a new iteration of Live, Laugh, Left. It's going to stay the name Live, Laugh, Left. I do not want to come up with another new fucking name. So it's going to stay Live, Laugh, Left. I don't give a fuck. But we are expanding the parameters of the podcast. Instead of just talking about NASCAR, we're going to talk about sports in general. That means episodes will be longer. That means episodes will have a lot more to talk about. That also means there's not going to be episodes every week. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is that doing these every week, even if it was for 10 months out of the year, now it's going to be pretty much year round. It's just not feasible. I'm too busy. Garry's too busy. It's hard to coordinate schedules, especially right now with the big sports season in swing. I'm working late nights almost every day of the fucking week. So and Garry's doing his own fucking thing. Like, it's just too hard. Just too hard to coordinate schedules. So we are going to continue to make an effort to put episodes out every week. It won't be every week, though. For example, next week, there won't be an episode. We already know that. See, right off the bat, we're establishing the precedent that there won't be episodes every week. But there's going to be a lot more stuff to talk about. So we are going to try and do weekly episodes. Episodes will now be going up. We're also doing a bit of swap with the Strollin and Trollin podcast. As Live Life Left is now going to move to Wednesday uploads. Because usually, in my opinion at least, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are kind of the weekdays for sports. Usually not a lot of stuff going on unless it's playoffs. And so I think that's a good time to record stuff and upload stuff. So Wednesday is going to be our upload time. Strollin and Trollin will move to Fridays. So there's that. But so what are we going to talk about? We can't talk about every team. We can't talk about every league. We can't do that, right? Because me and Garry like certain teams. And those certain teams tend to overlap. So I'm going to give you guys kind of a breakdown of the teams or leagues that we're going to be talking about through this podcast, at least for now. As if we bring another person on, if we have a guest, we'll talk about other teams or other leagues. But we're going to be talking about all the MSU sports, obviously. So the football team, the basketball team, the hockey team, all them teams, we're going to have all them. All the Detroit teams, the Lions, the Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers, we'll be talking about them. We'll obviously be talking about the Lugnuts as well. And obviously other NCAA talk, other NFL, and NBA, MLB, NHL talk too. Garry, a big Kalamazoo K-Wings fan, we're going to talk about them. As well as the ECHL, so that'll be fun. Garry's also a big Kalamazoo Growlers fan. We'll be talking about them, along with the Northwoods League that they reside in. We'll be talking about other sports on occasion, such as like big playoff stuff. The World Cup is coming up soon. We'll talk about that when that comes around. The Olympics. We'll talk about that. And all these other, big kind of one-off world events. We'll talk about like the Masters when that comes around or some shit like that too. But then, of course, through it all, we're not totally giving up on NASCAR. We're still going to talk about NASCAR. We'll talk about other motorsports on occasion, like the Indy 500 or stuff like that. But we'll always, when there is news to talk about, we'll talk about it for NASCAR still. We might not dive super deep into it. We might miss a few stuff. But we're still going to talk about it. And that's just how it's going to be. So NASCAR's still here. It's just not the main focus anymore. I think this will be a better way to add more discussion. We like talking about these teams. We're big fans of these teams. We're going to talk about them. We're going to have some fun. And only going to open up more parameters. Now, am I going to be moving? You might be wondering, am I going to be moving some of my sports content from Pringleson YouTube channel over to here? Possibly. My sports prediction videos might move over here. Maybe I'll do them on both channels. We'll see. I will not be moving vlogs or stadium reviews. I will probably still do predictions videos over there. Rants, I'll probably do some rants that I would not normally do on the channel. I'll probably do those here when a team suffers a bad loss. I'll probably move my season recaps. I don't know yet. We'll see. But it's really just going to be whatever it's going to be. We're going to kind of go with it and work with it and see what we can do. So I'm pretty excited about it. Garry seems pretty excited about it too. We've already started getting some topics together. I've got topics to talk about that, we'll have some stuff that's pertinent to that week, sports results, trades, injuries, whatever. But also some other topics that are not pertinent to a specific time, but we're going to still talk about. Maybe there'll be larger topics throughout each episode. We'll kind of figure out what the structure is going to be as we go. But the big thing you guys need to know is NASCAR still be talked about here. But other sports will be here too. We're moving uploads from Fridays to Wednesdays, while Strollin and Trollin is moving from Wednesdays to Fridays. And it probably won't be every week. In fact, it won't be every week, because there won't be one next week. But hopefully the week after that is when we can start. So it should be good. Anything else you want to add, Garry? I hope you are excited about it, because I am sure I am.
I am. I've been wanting to talk about a lot of things other than NASCAR, and I feel like, it's going to help us in the long run. I'm talking about the Lions, talking about all these good teams that we like is going to be fun.
Should be good. So, anyways, that's what you got looked forward to. Hopefully hopefully our first episode will be up Wednesday, November 26th is when we're going to aim for that, the day before Thanksgiving. In fact, we'll see. Maybe you have to delay it till December. But it'll come out, hopefully, for surely before the end of the year. We'll get that kind of changed and relaunched. But the name stays the same. It is still Live, Laugh, Left, because, again, God forbid I want to come up with another name. Okay, Live, Laugh, Left's a pretty good name. Okay, I don't want to get rid of it. Even though it doesn't make as much sense as it did before. We're still keeping it. Anyway. That's going to do it, though, for Season 4, as well as this episode. We still like talking about NASCAR, obviously. Garry has something before I send this out.
I meant to say, this is about NASCAR real quick. I did look up in the news. I think this was before the Phoenix race, but it was announced right after we did our podcast. So, Bubba Wallace is having his second kid. So, congratulations to him and his family.
Oh, yeah, you know what
Now
it means?
there could be a family of 4.
You know what it means? You know that they announced the due date, and everybody pinpointed to the exact time that the kid was conceived, and it was right after he won the Brickyard 400.
Tyler, you get strike 1.
It's true. That's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot about it. But anyways, obviously we still like
Strike
talking
one.
about NASCAR. NASCAR will always still be here. It's not going away. But it's time for a fresh start. So what do you say? Maybe we'll get some more guests too that are not just Ann Pomeroy.
Jeff. Likus.
So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode and this season of They've Laughed. Season 4 has come to a close. It was a good one. Like I said, experienced some burnout, but it was still a good one. Had some good moments, had some fun. And we'll see you guys whenever the new iteration begins. Goodbye.